How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Falcon's Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to the movie review, aka After I Saw. This time for this new episode for this series is going to be my review on the 2023 superhero film, and this is the sequel to the 2018 film, and it's also the 15th and final installment to this universe that was created back in 2013, which is of course the DC Extended Universe, and this is also their full film to be released this year after Shazam 2, The Flash, and Blue Beetle. And as you guys can tell from the title of this video, of course I'm here to review Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Now, this is directed once again by James Wan, who directed the first film, and like I said before, this is the sequel to the 2018 film Aquaman, and in this film, after trying to defeat Aquaman for the first time, we see Black Manta, once again played by Yahya, Abdul-Mateen II. He will stop at nothing to avenge his father's death, and so what ends up happening is that he wields the power of this thing known as the Black Trident, which unleashes an ancient and malevolent force. And so, hoping to try to end this terror, we see Aquaman, once again played by Jason Momoa. He forges an unlikely alliance, which involves his brother named Orm, played by Patrick Wilson, who was of course the original king of Atlantis. And so we see these two characters trying to put their differences to a side and try and work together, and hopefully they can save the kingdom of Atlantis, as well as Aquaman's family from this irreversible destruction. So that's pretty much the story of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Now, the first movie, Aquaman, which came out 5 years ago, I had a pretty good time with that movie when I saw it in the cinemas. I thought it was a pretty fun yet silly superhero movie, although it wasn't a perfect film because I did have a few issues with that film, but I still had a pretty good time with that film when I first saw it in the cinemas and all that, and it was one of the better installments of the DCU and all that. And as for the DCU this year, we did get 3 of their films that were released earlier this year, which were, of course, Shazam 2, The Flash, and Blue Beetle, in which Shazam 2 I did enjoy, although it wasn't as good as the first film, and I was a bit disappointed with that film and all that, but I didn't have a terrible time watching that film because I thought it was just good, but it just wasn't great, though, and that didn't really do well at the box office. And The Flash, I had a great time with that film, and I enjoyed that one a lot more than Shazam 2, even though that film really didn't do well at the box office as well. And Blue Beetle, I also enjoyed that one as well, just like on the exact same level as The Flash, even though that one didn't really do well at the box office as well and all that. But still, though, I was still looking forward to this film since I really enjoyed the first Aquaman movie, because I was really excited to see Jason Momoa coming back as this character, as well as with some of the cast members coming back to do the sequel, like Nicole Kidman and Yahya, Abdul-Mateen II, Dolph Lundgren, and Patrick Wilson. Although there's been quite a few controversy over this movie because of Amber Heard returning in this film, because there's been a lot of controversy around her and all that due to the whole situation with Johnny Depp and all that, which I'm not going to get into that much and all that. And I was really excited to see that James Wan was returning in the director's chair to direct the sequel and all that, because I thought he did a pretty good job with the first movie and all that. And this film came out on the 22nd of December of this year, and I saw this in a really big screening with a fair amount of people in it and all that. And after watching this sequel here, unfortunately, I wouldn't say the sequel is as good as the first film here. Is it a bad film? No. I thought this was just overall a decent sequel here. And I would also say as well, I thought this was just overall a decent final film to the DC Extended Universe here. Well, the things that I did like in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom was, of course, Jason Momoa. Like, he is still pretty fun and likable as Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman. And Patrick Wilson, like I said, is in the movie as Orm, and he is pretty good in the film here. And the chemistry between him and Jason Momoa in this movie, I thought, was pretty solid here for some of the entertainment value that they provide here and there in this film. And Amber Heard's in the movie, like I said, and despite the whole controversy around her and all that, her performance in the film is just fine. And she's not in the movie that much, yeah. And Nicole Kidman, I thought she was pretty good in the movie here, and as well as with Dolph Lundgren. And for Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Black Manta, I thought he was pretty solid in the movie here. And as for everyone else who were in the film, yeah, they were overall pretty solid enough for their performances here, even though for some of the new characters that were in this film, yeah, I just didn't find any of them remotely interesting or anything like that. And as for the action scenes, they are pretty cool here, and yeah, pretty well directed here by James Wan, which they were pretty fun to watch here and all that. And as for some of the directed moments outside of the action scenes, I thought it was pretty gorgeous here, like for the underwater sequences and all that, for some of the visuals that we see in the film. Which there were a few of the visuals that were not too bad here, even though there were some moments in the film here where they do some use of effects in the film here, which I did find them really cheesy here and all that, as well as with some of the action-packed moments in the film and all that. And as for the story for the film, it is a pretty basic story and all that, and it does tend to have some few predictable moments here and there and all that, which I kind of expected to see when I was watching this film and all that. And the script for the film I felt was pretty messy here and all that, because this film does tend to throw in a few characters' arcs in the film here and all that, which I kind of felt were a bit overstuffed and all that. And it was kind of hard for me to catch up and all that. And the film is a bit shorter than the last film and all that, because the first film was 2 hours and 23 minutes, and while for this film it is 2 hours and 4 minutes, which is a pretty reasonable run time and all that, but there were just some moments in the film that did tend to drag on a little bit and all that, and there were a few of the moments that did kind of get me a little bit bored while I was watching the film and all that, but it did kind of manage to pick itself up to get to any important moment in the film here to make myself have a pretty fun time and all that. But in the end, guys, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, yeah, this was just overall a decent sequel here to a really fun superhero film here, and it was also a decent final film to this universe here. But if you're a massive fan of the character of Aquaman, or you're a fan of director James Wan or actor Jason Momoa, I would probably say you might have a pretty fun time with this film here. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I'm gonna give Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom 3 out of 5. Like I said, I thought this was just overall a decent sequel here, and it was also a decent final film to this universe and all that. And like I said before, there was some stuff I did find myself enjoying with this movie quite a bit and all that, but for everything else that was around this whole film here, it left me disappointed here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching for my 8K After Hours store review on Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and let me know what you think of this final film to the DCU, if you have seen this already, or if you just recently checked it out. Did you have a fun time with this, or were you very disappointed with this? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Falcon's Media Corner signing off.